hardly requires an introduction, but I am so pleased to welcome Angelina Jolie, Special Envoy of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and the godmother of the Women for Bees program. She will also be joined by Noéline. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Angelina, you have worked with the UN Refugee Agency for 20 years, and you've carried out over 60 missions to refugees worldwide. Could you talk a little bit about what you've learned and specifically the relationship to the link between the environment and human displacement?
Well, it's I have had the honor to work with UNHCR and refugees and displaced persons for a long time, and sadly, in the years that I've been working, the numbers continue to rise. The support for them is less, and the needs are greater. And I'm sure you can speak about this as well, quite deeply, because of what we're seeing and the concerns. So many people now, when you see a conflict and displacement, that conflict often is in fact related to the environment. It's a fight over lack of water. It's a fight of the desert expanding. It is lack of being, all of these people with their vocational skills that no longer can be used because of what has happened and the dwindling resources. So we're seeing this in the last decade. The number of displaced people has doubled, and there are now over 82 million people displaced. So we're on a very frightening trajectory, and we have to take very seriously that it's not sounding an alarm or this could be bad. It is so broken. There isn't enough already to take care of people. So projects like this, considering sitting around today and talking like this, is very important because we really are in that moment. We are past that moment. Mm.
You set up a foundation in Cambodia in the name of your eldest son, Maddox, 17 years ago, and that works to conserve the tropical rainforest and wildlife of the Sandlot protected area near the border with Thailand. What have you seen in Cambodia that has influenced your thinking on this issue? And that's also to say including the role of women and how they play into conservation.
Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. I'll start. Well, I first went into Cambodia because of my son, and I went to this area where a lot of people had returned after the war, and it was very heavily mined, and it was a lot of forest, the jungle. And I went thinking of the people and community building and community development. But as soon as you are within that reality, it's very clear that it is the nature around them that without all of that, they don't survive. So just building a school, just having a clinic, it doesn't. If all of it is going to if there's going to be a dam that drowns them, if there's going to be illegal logging that cuts down the entire forest, if all of their natural resources around them are stripped, it's only a matter of time. They can't exist in that place no matter how many other parts we have tried to fix. So became very involved in the effort to help preserve and the mountains that surround the area. And it is a struggle. It is a struggle to this day. So, and I know we've spoken about this in Cambodia, and if you want to speak a little bit about
Asia. Would you like to add to that in particular?
Yeah, I think that what Mrs. Jolie said is exactly what is happening, actually. Our world is getting worse and worse for the people, and the origin of people is nature. Without nature, we will not be there. So it's important for them, for us, to help people to protect nature. And there is something that I want to say. Maybe it's a little bit different to what you say, but I think it's important to say that. You know that the project Women for Bees will be implemented in Ethiopia, in Kaffa Biosphere Reserve. And Kaffa gave the coffee to the world because the coffee comes from Kaffa. And people there, they use bees for the pollination of the coffee, you see? So if the bees were not there, the world will not have the coffee. So you see the importance of having nature and having every single thing in nature. And what is striking me when I am in the nature is that everything is at its own place. Everything is there. Each single insect, flower, they are there. And for me, I think that if we cannot preserve that, it will be a drama, and we are already in this drama.
And everything is interconnected.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
proof of that. Obviously, there's you've been building and funding schools for girls for many years, and I'd love to know a little bit more about how you think educating women in particular has, the most significance in this particular program. What lessons can the Women for Bees initiative learn from all that you've gleaned from the work in Kenya, for example, where you have built and funded a school, among elsewhere?
Well, one thing I would say is I think it's insane that we are often still in discussion about why girls' education is important.
Yeah.
It's angering, really, isn't it, that we somehow have to keep explaining this. It's their right. It's a young girl is born and she has the right to an education. That's her life. The question should be more, why do we continue to limit that girl's access to that education? Why do we continue to question it? Why do we, because of course anyone, their education is going to help them be a person where they are more capable, where they can communicate more, they can contribute more to their family, to their culture, to society, of course. And somebody who is not educated, they're in danger, they can be taken advantage of, they will not be able to be as productive and contribute as much. So it doesn't even make, I think that you start to look around and think, why are we intentionally breaking people? Why are we intentionally not allowing them to be at their full potential? What is that? So of course, and I'm a woman, I have daughters, and I love women. So I love to see women reach their full potential. But also I know that a woman who is educated educates others. And so the reason why this sisterhood is so important is because I know that the women who receive their diplomas today will be sharing that knowledge, will be raising up others around the world. I'm sure of it. We've already spoken about travel and countries, and so this is an investment in all that needs to be done.
And that's an extension of the work that you do with UNESCO and ensuring women's empowerment and an opportunity. Yes,
UNESCO, we have two global priorities. One is Africa, the second is gender. So women are at the core of our work, and we empower women by education, but also by science, because it doesn't matter from where your decision comes, but it has to backstop by something. And science is one very important asset to take the good decisions. So it's important also to have women in science, because it's very recently that we have this role model in science, women role model. So for UNESCO, it's also important for that, to have role models, women role models as you are. And we really count on you to make people realize that women are, I'm a little bit biased saying that, but we are the most important component of the society. But because, yes, I think we are bringing values that are maybe linked to the fact that we are motherhoods, and I think that to be a woman is something special, and we have a lot to bring to this world.
I don't think anyone could argue with that women are special. In your opinion, Angelina, what is the role that companies, individuals have to play in addressing destruction of the environment, and how encouraging do you find it that there are initiatives like this one between a house like Guerlain and UNESCO?
Well, I think it's the only way forward. I don't think we can continue on the path we are on, or we've been on, and you know, it's simply not sustainable. So if companies want to make beautiful things, and they want to have business, they have to grow more and more and more responsible to improve. And I see no end to what that improvement should be. And I think the question often needs to be, I'm going into this country, I'm going to take resources from this country, am I giving back am I having a fair exchange? I believe you can do business and still raise up others, be decent, be honorable, and we all need to make sure that businesses around the world are checking themselves. And it's hard for the consumer to know who is doing what and how is, so
that's absolutely
this is a good step.
And what is the best way for people to make a difference when it comes to specifically the challenges facing the bee population? I mean, is this something within our individual power to solve? Is it bigger than us?
No, it's not bigger than us. I think the nice thing about it is it's something anyone can do. You don't have to have a large amount of land. You could have you could keep a few bees. You could plant a few flowers. You could spread a bit of awareness. You know, it's and you can support other initiatives and other projects like this. But no, it's just changing your mindset, and it's appreciating the pollinators, and it's understanding how your food's connected, and it's. But yes, little things. Little kids can just throw a few seeds.
So we have to start somewhere. Would you agree that that's sort of the best way forward, is realizing that it is something that everyone on some level can be part of?
Yes, I totally agree on that, because of course you have to learn how to do it, but it becomes a part of your life. It's something that lives with you, and I think that it's a very, very good way also to understand the connection with nature. The bees are really, and if you look at a community of bees, they carry some values that we should also carry: solidarity, values of everybody has its own role in the community, and it's a role of everyone that makes the community healthy. So I think that, yes, the bee word is a word that we can learn a lot from.
That's so beautiful. Well, to conclude, I think, we're running out of time, so I would just like to know, Angelina, where is this program going? I think it's going far beyond where we are right now. What can you tell everybody who's joined?
Well, I think there are no limits. I think it's going to be, we're planning a lot of discussions. Right now, there was an initial thought of making sure there were at least 50 women from 25 biospheres, and understanding the biospheres and why it was important to map out a bit and to start to build this team with these thoughts in mind. We're going to be working further with UNESCO as well, and understanding how to expand on each of these countries and biospheres. Some of the next training will be in Semlot, near my home in Cambodia. So I get to hang out with the ladies there. Excellent. And hopefully the European team will join me. So really there is no limit, and I hope that even women around the world that work on projects like this reach out to us, join us, and we all connect in this network, and all the male beekeepers.
We are inclusive, that's true. Angelina, thank you so much, and thank you for your commitment to this project. And Noéline, it couldn't be done without the help of UNESCO and OFA and Guerlain. So merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for joining. We have run out of time, but do send your questions in the chat to your local PR managers, and we'll get right to them. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.